Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? It's kind of wild how humans can have an almost Pavlovian response to things, even many years removed. You know the Pavlov's dog, right? Ring a bell, the dog would salivate. I was reminded of that last night because I was transposed into a completely different mindset era place last night. It's like, I think this happens a lot with music. You remember that song, I Try by Macy Gray? When I hear this song, I immediately am transported back to my senior year of high school. It's all about saying goodbye and it was saying about your friends, moving on to a different phase of life. I can still remember like driving in my black Volvo my senior year, key club events, football games, everything. I can feel the feels, smell the smells. I mean, I'm right there again when I hear this song. You know what I mean? Get it, girl. Thank you. But since 2006, I expected the Saints to win every game they played. Not that I was predicting some dynasty where they would never lose a game for 15 years. My point is, every Sunday or Thursday or Monday or Saturday, when the Saints played football and Sean Payton and Drew Brees were there, I expected my team to win. That's not realistic, but I expected they were going to win. And when they didn't, I was disappointed. I was upset and frustrated, all those things, because I expected they were going to make the play. And last night, we're watching the game at the AFR watch party with our friends over at Mockler, and our buddy Christian Lockitcher was there, played at LSU and works at Mockler now. And as the fourth quarter's going on, he's so optimistic. And he's like, man, they're going to do it. They're going to rally. And I looked at him dead in the eye and I said, careful, man. They'll break your heart. Boom. I was right back emotionally to where I was for the first quarter century of my life. Where every single time I sat in that dome, I watched the Saints play on my couch, whatever it might have been, you expected them to lose. No matter how good the situation was, they'd blow the lead, they'd throw the pick, they'd miss the kick. You just expected the worst around a franchise that for 45 years gave you no reason to believe anything other than the worst was what was going to happen. And we were conditioned as a fan base that way. And Sean and Drew came and changed that. They changed the mindset, the culture, all of it. And last night, when I said that to Lockitcher, I mean, boom, I was right back there. I wasn't in the dome, but from all accounts from people that were, that's what it sounded like and felt like. I mean, they rally. Maybe the most famous call in Saints history is Jim Henderson when Hakeem dropped the ball. The Saints win their first playoff game ever when Azahir Hakeem drops the ball and Brian Milton recovers it and Jim Henderson screams, "There is a God after all." One playoff win. There is a God after all, because we always expected the worst. And last night, you're down 15 in the fourth quarter. Man, and you rally. Taysom Hill scores. And then 3-play touchdown drive. Mike Thomas with one of the best catches any of us have ever seen him make.
Carr to throw, going for the end zone, going for Mike Thomas, who makes the catch, and they're saying touchdown, Saints for Mike Thomas.
Thomas gets the grab, but you still need the 2-point conversion, and I'll be damned, Alvin Kamara delivers.
Taysom Hill split to the left, Carr to throw, throws to Kamara, 2-point conversion, and this football game is tied up 24-24.
Listen to Mike Haas. So euphoric, so full of life and wonderment and amazement, thinking that it's actually going to work out. It wouldn't. You even got to stop. You got to stop and got the ball back. And you go 3 and out, you shank a punt, you give them half a field, 2 plays later they score, and they got the lead. And in spite of all that, you still got another shot. You got another shot, and you go all the way down to the 6-yard line. With 3 timeouts. The world is your oyster, Pete Carmichael. Dial up anything. You got 3 timeouts. Do anything. Run the annexation of Puerto Rico from Little Giants. Do whatever you want. And he throws a single-man route to the left sideline. That's okay. It was the play you scored on with Michael Thomas. What do we always say? Oh, man, why did play callers not go back to things that worked? Oh, they went back to it, didn't work. No worries, you got 3 more plays and 3 timeouts. You're good. And then you airmail one over the middle to Taysom Hill. And then God bless Foster Moreau in the back of the end zone.
30 seconds. 3rd and goal. Carr to throw. Does throw to the end zone, and that is incomplete. Right through the hands of Foster Moreau. Got 2 hands on it at the far corner of the end zone, but could not bring it in.
And I don't want to talk about 4th down. You know what happened. You got 2 turnovers, but listen, you didn't lose the game because of Foster Moreau. You realize you got 2 turnovers in the first quarter and netted 3 points off those turnovers? Blake Grupe missed another field goal. You got Chris Olave out there quitting on routes. You got Derek Carr trying to get Foster Moreau killed over the middle, and then Moreau dropping what would be a touchdown. You got a quarterback on a bum wheel, Dyson Yupp, running for 26 yards. I just want to know, are there any doubters out there? Like, are any of you still out there holding out hope that maybe they get this thing turned around? I'm curious. Is there anyone out there? It's pretty quiet right now. Because Dennis Allen, say it again, Dennis Allen is a lieutenant, not a general. He is a great defensive mind. He is not a head coach. He's 10-14 now at his time in New Orleans. As a head coach overall, he's 18-42. 18-42. And listen, sometimes there are coaches who their record, it's misleading. I think Zach Taylor is a great example of this. Zach Taylor inherited an awful situation in Cincinnati. Right now, Zach Taylor is 31-39 overall at his time in Cincinnati. That's not good. 31-39 in a vacuum is objectively bad. You're 8 games under 500 in your 5th season as a head coach. But he inherited a horrible situation, went 2-14 his first year. Then they drafted Joe Burrow, went 4-11-1. You improved by 2.5 games. And then by year 3, they were 10-7 and went to the Super Bowl. And last year, they were 12-4. So they went from 2 wins to 4 wins to 10 wins to 12 wins. That's a great job. He's still 31-39 in Cincinnati. Dennis Allen inherited a great situation in New Orleans. He had a stable organization that was used to winning and going to the playoffs. And he has got this thing in a nosedive. Pete Carmichael is over his skis. We can all see it now. Look at the goal line sequence at the end of the game. I mean, you are what you are right now. You can move the ball between the 20s. You can't score. And a big part of that, of course, is Derek Carr as well. And this is something that so many people are starting to come around on that we've been talking about here now for months. And I looked this up. If you think the red zone issues that Derek Carr is having right now are a new thing, They're not. There's a website called Sharp Football Analytics. I don't know what that is, don't really care, but it essentially is a tool for fantasy football. This is one Google search found this. Going back to 2018, this is looking at red zone production. This goes back to 2018. And he writes, the one player that has consistently underperformed in the red zone since I've been doing this, since 2018, is Derek Carr. You can make this stuff up. Carr has failed to match his expected red zone output each of the past 5 seasons. 2022 was once again a struggle for Carr as he was 10 of 29 passing inside the 10-yard line. No player with more than 20 pass attempts inside the 10 completed a lower rate of passes than Carr. The expected production against the difference, Derek Carr, each of the last 5, now 6 years, is negative based on what the expected production should be. This isn't a new thing for Derek Carr. This is who Derek Carr is. An aging quarterback who, at his best, was on the brink of the top 10 and is far from his best today. This is something I've said for months now. A lot of you just called me a hater and didn't want to hear it. And with the ever-growing sample size, you're all seeing it now. Some of you are still blaming Pete Carmichael exclusively, and Pete Carmichael's very bad. But Derek Carr is not good either, and he's never going to be good. And you are stuck with a bad contract for this year, next year, probably 2025 as well. You've got a stat compiler who's bad in the red zone and who's not a winner. That's what Derek Carr is. And so now the Saints are what they are. You're stuck. You've got one option only. You blow out this staff and hope to bring in your version of Zach Taylor, who's going to inherit a bad situation and grow through it. And you've got to draft a quarterback and hope you have your Russell Wilson, Brock Purdy, Dak, whoever it may be, that mid-round pick, or maybe even a first-round pick, who becomes your franchise, your cornerstone that you can build upon for the next decade plus. That's your only way out of this. But there is no quick fix. You're not fixing it this year. You're not fixing it next year. You're just stuck. And so, what we have to do right now is acknowledge our reality, appreciate with gratitude what Sean Payton and Drew Brees did here, and say goodbye to it forever, because those days are gone, and we're all back to a time where the expectation was the worst. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.